Yo, ho, ho, Bills Mafia. Welcome to another edition of Bills Mafia Happy Hour, your go-to Bills Mafia hangout, 5 p.m. Monday through Friday with your boy, Dan Mitchell. Ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely hope that you are enjoying your Wednesday, middle of the week. Only 2 more days until the weekend. ladies and gentlemen. And I'm happy that I am able to entertain you as you're winding down your workday, whatever the hell you had going on. And we're going to be talking a little Bills, a little AFC East. I figured that it's appropriate today because the AFC East Roundtable is going to be starting in, a little less than 3 hours, 8 p.m. EST. I certainly hope each and every single one of you will be there this evening. And on today's episode of Bills Mafia Happy Hour, we are going to be dissecting the rest of the AFC East. Because let's be honest with ourselves at this point, so many talking heads in the national media are saying, oh, the Dolphins are better than the Bills this year. The Jets are going to be a threat to the Bills this year. The Patriots, well, not many are saying that. But regardless, what I wanted to do is I wanted to sort of take a look at where the team was last year, thanks to our handy-dandy friend PFF, and then sort of discuss some of the additions that team has made to see exactly where all of these teams stand and see whether or not that they got better to an extent where they are going to serve as more of a threat to the Buffalo Bills going on into 2023. That is right. And so we are going to be looking in the Patriots, the New York Jets, and then also the Miami Dolphins, largely driven by exactly everybody in the live chat, Q&A. You already know what is going on here. Just to let you know, Bills Mafia Happy Hour is brought to you by Bocce Club Pizza, best pizza in Buffalo, New York. You cannot convince me otherwise. Now, let me tell you what. Maybe you're not in Buffalo anymore. Maybe you're from Buffalo, or maybe you just love the Bills because your dad is from there, etc. Good news. Best pizza in Buffalo is delivering nationwide. That is right. And with code DAN, not dad, Dan, D-A-N, they are going to take 10% off of your order. Send it right to your damn front doorstep. Toss it into your oven. Follow the directions that they have provided for you and get a nice taste of home. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I ended up having a slice of pizza from a place down the street in South Carolina. Doo-doo. Terrible. One of the worst excuses of pizza I've ever had in my entire life in South Carolina. I can't tell you how much I miss the delectable, the delicious Bocce Club Pizza. So, best pizza in Buffalo can be sent to you anywhere in the United States. So go on ahead, visit their website, hit national delivery, and they'll send it right to you. You will not be sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, so happy to see each and every single one of you. I see a lot of familiar faces. And so I've noticed that there's some people who are more of a Dom Mafia Live morning show sort of person. And then I see some people that are Bills Mafia Happy Hour person exclusively. And then I see some familiar faces that are in each and every single show. And I love each and every single one of you. Love the support that you guys give me on a regular basis. And say, for example, you want to take that support to the next level. Best way to support this channel is quite simply just by hitting that like button. Smash it like it owes you money. It is completely free to click this button. It does not cost you a dime. It is completely free, and it helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. It pushes my content out to new eyeballs, new Bills Mafia members, other people that follow the NFL, and would mean the absolute world to me. Let's go on ahead. Let's hit the live chat. Let me talk to some people real fast. What is going on? What is everybody thinking about today? Why are people acting like everyone else got better besides the Buffalo Bills? That is certainly something that I feel like we need to address today, right? Because when I look at this roster, it doesn't have a lot of sexy names, right? Like, it doesn't have an Aaron Rodgers, right? It doesn't have a Jalen Ramsey of these offseason acquisitions, but it does have PFF scored players that are improving rooms that we so desperately needed to improve. Most notably, I would say our running back room. I have not tuned into a single national media show. That has been giving love to the Buffalo Bills run game, their running back room. And it blows my mind. And I can't wait for it to be proven wrong. And I guarantee you, these fools are going to pick up that story. They are simply going to pick up this story week 2, week 3 into the season. Is what it is. Same thing with our secondary coming back fully healthy, by the way. Have a Trey White that is fully healed from his ACL. have our safety tandem coming back playing collectively, and then also defensive line as well. But don't get me wrong. Listen, ladies and gents, I'm not even trying to be a homer during this. I promised you during my first show today, that I was going to be, a coffee burp right there, ladies and gents. And so I did promise you guys here today that I was going to be as objective as possible when I am looking over these teams, looking over their stats, how they ranked last year according to PFF, and then discussing some of the acquisitions they ended up making to see exactly what they look like. So certainly intriguing to see how this all plays out. Very happy that all of you are joining in today. We certainly have a lot to discuss. So after East, best quarterback, Josh Allen. Running back is Ramondre Stevenson. He's saying Ramondre Stevenson. He's saying Diggs for the Bills and Hill, Miami, coach Bill Belichick. It's the all AFC East Awards, according to my boy Jordan Smith. They all thought the same last year. And what happened? I feel like this year is a bit more accelerated because of the absolute household names of the NFL came over to the AFC East. I saw today that DeAndre Hopkins, betting favorites, is now for the New England Patriots. We're going to have to see what's going on. I also read a report that he's still holding on to hope that the Chiefs or the Bills are going to pick him up. But like I said, I refuse to discuss that wide receiver ever again until news finally drops. That's precisely where I am standing at this point. And so I think this roster has potential to be better, but there are some big question marks at key spots. I mean, honestly, and so Jason, listen, I can definitely see where you're coming from, but the only question mark I am seeing is the left side of our offensive line and then middle linebacker. That's about it. I definitely think the right side of our offensive line improved, and I think that we're just going to be changing up our scheme from the linebacker position, where it's going to be more focused on the whole pass coverage sort of mindset. And I think we're going to be okay. I really think we're going to be okay. I think that Dotson has slept on tremendously from the Buffalo Bills. I think that he's been on this roster long enough where I think he's going to be able to fill in. And then I think Dorian Williams is going to hopefully take a couple of steps in his inaugural year over in Buffalo. I really do see that. Just depends on work and RL. And so if I make both during the week, Mike, I always see my boy. In here, and I sincerely appreciate it. I really do. Can it be September yet already? Man, you are preaching to the choir. When it comes down to that, man. I have just been waiting to go on ahead and just fly up to New York City, fly up to Jersey, watch the Bills play the Jets during the AFC's Roundtable event. Obviously, I'm dying for the season to start, man. I really am. And so I already went on ahead and bought, and so the NFL package already, I bought it like a month ago. I've been watching a bunch of film. I've been watching replays of games. It's rough, man. Right now, it sucks because the lull of the NFL offseason is during the point of the year where nothing in sports is going on. Baseball, great. And so I know that the College World Series for college baseball is going on right now too. But I don't know. It's just not exciting me anymore. I need football season to get here absolutely immediately. Brent Machiavelli is coming in saying, thank you for the daily content. Gives me something to look forward to. Brent, listen, I sincerely appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in on a regular basis. Really. Thank you for tuning in on a regular basis. It's funny how these shows have grown. Yesterday, my morning show had something like 180 live viewers. This morning had about 90. And then this Bills Mafia Happy Hour yesterday got around 90 as well. It's crazy because I had to start training everybody and training the YouTube algorithm that's when I go live. And I'm seeing a bunch of new faces on a regular basis. And not just Bills Mafia. It's also from a bunch of other fan bases, it's great. But I suppose and so there's so much going on with the Bills that I haven't been able to turn my morning show right into the NFL show that I want it to be. It's going to be that, especially during the regular season, of course. But so much Bills stuff to be talking about these past couple of weeks, right? the scare with DeAndre Hopkins, and it was the scare with Stephon Diggs, and it was mini camp, and now it's whatever. But regardless, here we are. We got Dante Jenkins coming in saying, and the only question mark is Spencer and Dion and coaching. Yes, I sincerely would say that. My boy Ali Akbar coming in saying, our secondary was and still is our weakness. I'll say it until the cows come home. Listen, man, as long as we can stay healthy, maybe I can agree with you on the fact that our secondary is weak when it comes to depth perspective, because we all saw how and I wouldn't even say it's personnel, Ali. Really just overall how you execute from a secondary perspective has been the Buffalo Bills' weakness. And that really boils down to coaching. Is McDermott going to completely give this defense a facelift? Are we going to see a bit more aggression? We're going to have to see how this plays out. So if people underrate the Bills because we have huge young talent, as for our division this year, we're going 4-2 for sure, rolling the Pats and splitting with the Jets and the Finns. I really hope we don't split with the Finns. I really hope that we sweep them. I need that back. And so I need those bragging rights back, right? Like, we gifted them that one win week 3 last year. We need to go back out there and show confidence. But I can see us splitting with the Jets, and I will die on that hill. Mr. Torres is coming in and saying, what's up, Dan? The man. Training camp next month. I know, my friend. July 25th, St. John Fisher College, Buffalo Bills going into it. I'm ready for it. Wouldn't Diggs be mad if they got D-Hop? Man, like I said, I'm getting to a point right now where not only am I getting sick of sort of discussing DeAndre Hopkins, but I'm also getting sick of the whole, why was Diggs mad? Why was Diggs mad? I feel like for the most part, that has been addressed. I've heard rumors that he was mad because we didn't get D-Hop. I've heard rumors that he was mad because he thought that we were going to get him, and he was afraid that this was going to be an Adam Thielen situation 2.0. I'm chalking it up that he just wanted to be a bit more involved in offensive play calling. That's what I think it more than likely is. We're cutting it out. Our wide receiver 1 is back. He's ready to take over some vengeance. He really is. Oh, we got Jordan Smith coming in saying 86 days till Bills Jets week 1. I am counting down those days, man. Just 85 more sleeps. 85 more sleeps is all we need. And so I think I might be able to go to the Bills versus Jets game. Head start. Listen, let us know. We are still selling full package tickets for the AFC East Roundtable event. That includes the tailgate party. That also includes sitting with myself, TD, Master at Work, and Richie. So make that work, my friend. And so I love football season, but I'm not begging for winter after last year. Listen, man, I totally get it. I hate the cold. I definitely hate the cold. It certainly helps that my family relocated me when I was young down to the south. It still gets cold down here, but here we are. Here we are. Derek Medina coming in. What's up? What's up? What's up, man? Hope all is well. This meeting is better because we are all drinking. Absolutely. And so I hope all of you guys are throwing them back right now. I'm not drinking right now. I'm drinking some coffee. But normally I drink on happy hour on Fridays. Wednesday happy hour, I definitely don't, because I need to be somewhat coherent, especially when the AFC East Roundtable comes around. The Gridiron Gang, maybe. That's a great movie. That movie is one of the most underrated football movies on the face of the planet, is The Gridiron Gang. Love that. Rock has a great performance. We're going to have to see what's going on. Sam Weiss is saying, worried about Dalvin Cook coming to the AFC East. No, not particularly, man. I feel like that most teams in the AFC East don't want to pay him the money that he's looking for, right? He's really putting himself out on a pedestal right now, saying, hey, you know what? I feel like that I deserve, $10, $15 million a year. The Bills and the Dolphins, for the most part, are just like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, buddy. But we'll see what's going on there. So we got Ali Akbar coming in saying that Diop is better than Diggs. I love Diggs, but if I had to pick, it's a no-brainer. It's a hot take. That's a very hot take. Head Start's coming in saying, I had a weird relationship with Winter. when I was younger. I loved winter. Then when I got older, I hated walking in the cold to the bus stop in the cold. I think it only snowed once in the USA last year. Man, and so when I was a kid, I definitely enjoyed the snowball fights. I enjoyed sledding. I did enjoy like 2 or 3 times I went snowboarding a year, but after a while, dude, it gets rough, right? So like now, like say that I get a hankering to go do some like winter sports, I'll just travel somewhere, stay there for a week, get it all out of my system, like go 3 or 4 times, like while I'm on that vacation. And then I'm completely fine going back down to South Carolina after that. Completely fine after we see how that plays out. And so if the Bills, Jets, and the Dolphins stay healthy, you can make the argument for any one of these teams to take the AFC East. This is going to be a really fun year. Mike V, listen, this right here is a fantastic transition, because specifically what I wanted to do today, okay? What I wanted to do today was look exactly where each and every single team in the AFC East fell in a variety of different categories, say whether or not that I feel like that they are going to progress or if they are going to decrease in that overall sort of category. This right here is PFF. It's the premium stats position. I do go on ahead and pay something like $8 a month to have this information. I'm going to be using a lot of this moving forward throughout the season, so we can really discuss and look at a bunch of different things when it comes down into it. But we have to talk about a couple of things here. And we are essentially going to go through each and every single one of these sort of categories to begin with in the offense by itself, right? So when it comes down into it, we're going to start off with offense or overall, right? And so Bills overall finished 7th last year as far as a total PFF score. We had the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Niners, the Vikings, which is not surprising, the Ravens, Cincinnati, and then overall Buffalo ended up finishing 7th. The Miami Dolphins finished 10th as far as overall. The Patriots, surprisingly, right, 13th as far as an overall PFF score. And then we ended up having the Jets finishing 21st. That is overall as the teams are concerned, but we have to talk offense. Let's take a look at the overall offense. What made them good? What did not? And surprisingly, I saw this, and I'm sure Dolphins fans are going to be clicking their heels. And I think this list might be a bit skewed when it comes down into it, right? So in 2022, last season, the Dolphins were tied with the Lions in overall offensive production. Now, they were at 7th. They had a score of 79, while the Buffalo Bills had a score of 78.8. So literally just about the same amount of overall production. Now, I do think that the main difference here is that these games were heavily skewed when Tua was healthy, because let's be honest with ourselves. When Tua was healthy, especially at the beginning of the season, their offense was moving. It probably had to do with the fact that they had a bunch of speed on the outside as far as receivers. And if they were to treat their offensive line whatsoever, then I could see them having this similar score and ensuring that Tua could stay healthy and actually play a full 17. But then you have the Buffalo Bills sitting at 9. Now, what was the Bills, right, biggest weakness when it comes down? What was the Bills' biggest weakness when it came down into the offense last year? We could say, number one, offensive line, run game, which normally both of those things are related when it comes down into it. And in my opinion, the slot option, we had nobody that was efficient out of the slot. We really didn't. Even if Khalil Shakir did show flashes, Dorsey just was babying him, trying to get him into that overall momentum when it came down into offense. I can say that we 1,000% improved our run game. We 1,000% improved that slot threat, which is going to now be Dalton Kincaid going into it. So 78.8 right there. I could see the Buffalo Bills going up into the 80s, maybe even slightly higher with those additions. The Miami Dolphins, same team as always. Probably look at them staying around this exact same score, same old production, because we're going to get into what their weakness is, okay, which is going to be pass block and then run block. But here we are. So the Dolphins were at 7. Bills were at 9. And this is overall offense, by the way, in case anybody is just joining us as of right now. Scroll on down, and then we have the Patriots, right, which ended up finishing 19th in the league, 72 overall with offense by itself. And then they ended up grabbing Mike Gesicki on top of that. Now they're going to be transitioning into Ramondre Stevenson being, I would say, their first bell cow running back in perhaps all of Bill Belichick's career of coaching the team, not going running back by committee. They now have an offensive coordinator, a true offensive coordinator. So I can see a slight improvement in the overall Patriots offense in general. And then the Jets obviously finished relatively low last year. Oh, no, this is rough right here, boys. 31st for the Jets last year. 31st in overall offensive. 31st overall in offensive production, according to PFF. So that's exactly where it comes down into it. Now, once you get into the whole offensive breakdown as far as passing, there's our Buffalo Bills right over there with an 84.1. Problem is that there is a huge gap, massive gap between Kansas City and then also Cincinnati, about 6 points exactly between this team. So we can only hope that Dalton Kincaid is going to improve this. And then hopefully when it comes down into a slightly different scheme, maybe a little bit better when it comes into red zone efficiency. I like where this is going. I see Miami sticking around here. I really do. And so I see them being in the whole 77, especially offensively. I mean, they legitimately ignored their offensive line this year. Ignored it 110%. But we will see from there. And so the Patriots, same thing. Now you have Juju. You're probably going to end up getting D-Hop, etc. There we are. And then the Jets were, oh my God. Jets, 1,000%. I mean, honestly, there's nowhere to go but up for the New York Jets. There's nowhere to go but up for the New York Jets at this point when it comes down into the pass game. Okay? It helps that Aaron Rodgers is going to be there. But the biggest thing I wanted to point out was simply pass block, because there really wasn't, right? Best offensive line last year from pass blocking and run blocking. Here, let's go ahead and put that up here, right? Was the Pats, right? And so the Pats were a great pass blocking team. Best team in the entire division right here, baby. Afterwards, had the Bills at 21. We had the Jets at 30th, which is surprising. And then you had Miami at 29th. Now, Miami is not going anywhere. They're going to be down right here for the rest of the season because they legitimately have gotten worse at offensive line this offseason. They've lost some players. As you can see, they're 29th in overall pass block, hence why Tua just couldn't play an entire season. So we know that they're not going anywhere. So once Miami goes up against a pass rush like the New York Jets, like the Bills, I would say even the Patriots, it's going to be a struggle, man. It's going to be a struggle. Say the New York Jets actually stay healthy, I could definitely see them going up in that area. But then also run blocking, right? Run blocking, we can go over here. Not good for so Miami Dolphins did pretty solid, which is why I'm still kind of surprised that they wouldn't bite the bullet a little bit to get somebody like Dalvin Cook. But probably going to be the same because, like I said, they have the exact same offensive line. You have the Patriots at 20. There's our beloved Bills right there, as well as the New York Jets at 27 and 28. This whole run block situation, let's hope that Osiris Torrance is as much of an absolute stud as he could be, because we're going to need it. We are going to need it, ladies and gentlemen. Just going over to the defense, right as you can see. And so the beloved, I almost said the beloved Patriots were at 9. The New York Jets were at 2. And do not think for a second that the New York Jets are about to fall at all. They have the exact same defense coming back, stacked defensive line. This is probably going to be the best defense in the AFC East, is going to be the New York Jets. I got to give them some love. I have to speak objectively. I think that they're going to have the most well-rounded, complete defense on the face of the planet. Right over there, the Pats. Here we are. The Bills are at 14, and the Miami Dolphins are at 16 PFF. They just end up getting Vic Fangio as a defensive coordinator, which is going to be an improvement, and then Jalen Ramsey on the outside. So they are going to go up. Same thing with the Buffalo Bills. However, I do think that our secondary is finally at full strength. So I think a lot of these are going to be okay, right? Run defense, we can go on ahead and just take a look at this. Miami Dolphins had a really good run defense last year. They really did. I see the exact same thing. So did the Jets and the Buffalo Bills, as always, on character, per character, rather. Buffalo Bills, 25th in the damn league for run defense, right? Something, unfortunately, I still see us struggling with this year, guys. I still see us struggling with it this year. That's going to be something that we're going to be pulling our hair out. We're going to be saying things like, why the hell can't the Bills stop the damn run? It's going to happen again this year, unfortunately. Not unless Sean McDermott comes up with something completely out of his ass. Tackling, New England Patriots, very disciplined team. They're going to stick around this area. Where's the Bills? We're definitely low. 29th, can't tackle for shit. Miami Dolphins, 25th, can't tackle for shit. And the New York Jets, I'm not going to say they can't tackle for shit, but they can tackle, right? Pass rush was great when Von Miller was here for the Bills. Miami Dolphins were solid at number 4, and then New York Jets. It's pretty sick, right? It's pretty wild that number 3, 4, and 5 was all pass rush. Bills, I can see an improvement because we added Leonard Floyd. Same thing with Miami Dolphins. Say that they can stay healthy, solid pass rush, something to look over. And then overall coverage, right? And so the Jets are going to be right there. The Bills are going to be right there. And the Miami Dolphins, who were 31st in coverage last year, no wonder you spent a damn bag on Jalen Ramsey. No wonder you spent a damn bag on Jalen Ramsey. You were 31st in the league last year for overall coverage. They're definitely going to see a significant improvement. So, short answer to what I wanted to discuss is the fact that, yes, I do think when it comes down to it, minus Jalen Ramsey and a new defensive coordinator, that's really the only significant move that I see the Dolphins taking a step in the right direction with. I see their defense being a hell of a lot better. My biggest concern for them is that their pass, and so their pass blocking is not going to, their pass blocking is not going to improve, right? It's not at all. And they didn't address it whatsoever. So it's not looking good, in my opinion, especially with Tua's injury history, that he's going to play the full season. I could be wrong. I sincerely could be wrong. Maybe they could try and get the ball out a little faster, but the defenses and the pass rushes that Miami Dolphins offensive line needs to go up against, especially in the AFC East, should be concerning. If I was a Dolphins fan, that's going to be the biggest thing that's going to make me sweat every single game that they play this year. Because keep in mind, we have a hard schedule. And so AFC East has a very difficult schedule. We did not draw or have the right hand when it came down into the schedule. So that's my biggest concern for the Dolphins. I do think they got better defensively. Definitely. They did get better for sure. So did the Jets. Jets got better, 110%. That defense is locked down. It's going to be the exact same defense as last year. And as Bills fans, we know that they gave us our most difficult game the entire season last year. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's going to be rough. And then obviously you end up improving with Aaron Rodgers. If their offensive line can stay healthy, that team got better, right? And then the Patriots, don't sleep on the Patriots, man. Don't. And so I think that their new offensive coordinator is going to make things good. I'm not saying that the Pats are going to finish better than third place, but I still think they might have a winning record. I still think the Pats have 9-10 wins in them, 110%. So really at the end of the day, I think that all of these teams, they get better, but so do the Buffalo Bills. And so the Buffalo Bills got a hell of a lot better. I'm still picking the Bills to win the division because I think that we made all of the right moves to improve the areas that we needed to improve. And the only thing that's concerning me is our tackles and then our middle linebacker. That's about it. That's where we're at. Let's see what we got here. We're going over to the live chat. It's happy hour over here, baby. So PFF is doo-doo. We were actually 6th against the run. Plus, we added Poona Ford, who is also good against the run. He definitely is. I'm excited about Poona. I'm very excited about Poona Ford. I think that he's going to really provide a Band-Aid for our linebackers because I don't necessarily trust Dorian Williams or Dotson. And so to be a threat or like a viable stone wall against any sort of run offense, I really don't. It's something to consider, boys. Definitely something to consider. Jets gave us the most difficult game. And so they gave us the 2 most difficult games, I would say, defensively all last season. So it's going to be a team that we have to sincerely keep an eye out for because they're for real, y'all. They definitely are. It's a fantastic defense. It really is. And so Miami will be 3rd probably. He's calling for 3rd place. He's thinking the Jets are going to finish in 2nd. The Bills are going to be 1st. One of the 2. That's sort of where I am right now. And so I'm not even trying to disrespect Miami. I think they're a great team. I just think the AFC East is fucking really good. And I'm not even saying that there's going to be a giant gap between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in the division. I mean, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we were talking about, okay, so the Bills would be at the 1st seed with 13 wins, the Jets would be with 12, and Miami would be at 11 wins total. So when I say 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I wouldn't be surprised if the final standings look like that next year. I really wouldn't. It's going to be a fun year. It's going to be wildly competitive. I'm not saying that we're going to run away with this division at all. I'm not. I still think that we're going to win because I think we're a better team personnel-wise. Coaching, we're going to have to see. That is still up on and so that's still up for debate. But frankly, that's kind of where I'm at. We need a real number 2 receiver. Dalton Kincaid, brother. So that's who it is. Dalton Kincaid. And so I don't even look at it as like 2 receivers. I look at it as like 2 credible pass targets. That's the way that I look at it. It's not like he doesn't need to be a wide receiver 2. It just needs to be somebody that Josh Allen trusts and goes into it. And I feel like we did that. I definitely feel like we did that. And so did you guys hear about dumb old Tyreek Hill? Oh, we definitely did. We talked about that. And so we talked about that on the morning show today, Jamie. He smacked some Marino worker or something like that. I don't even know. What team would you consider to be your biggest threat? Biggest threat in the AFC East, in my opinion, is the Jets. And so I'd say the New York Jets are the biggest threat to the Bills for 1st place in the AFC East. That defense is nice. It's proven. And so not to knock the Dolphins. And so defense, like, I'm like super curious to see what Fangio is going to do with them and what that addition of Jalen Ramsey is going to happen, but he's not proven in the Miami defense. Whereas the Jets are proven with the exact same personnel. They have the chemistry. And then obviously when you add Aaron Rodgers, you're going to see some improvement in overall offense. So I'd say the Jets are probably the biggest threat to the Bills in the AFC East this year. Gabriel's coming in saying that I think the Bills wide receivers were terrible for yards after the catch. We absolutely were. We 1,010% were. We need that so bad. Yards after the catch needs to be something that needs to work next year. And so PFF has Patrick Surtain II as the 4th cornerback in the league. It's funny, like sometimes like I've always been interested to see like how they come up with it, like what factors they look as far as their rankings. I feel like that I just need to spend some time on PFF and sort of get a good understanding of like, hey, like this is their logic for their rankings. This is how it is. Like they're big on DVOA. They're huge on DVOA. So something that I think is kind of like, So he was in the Pro Bowl because Allen chose not to play in the Pro Bowl. Mac was an alternative. And so the Dolphins' offensive line isn't good enough. And so I got them 3rd, plus the league has tape on that offense now. So the Jets will be good, but they're going to get everyone's best now, like the Bills have been getting for the past 3 years. Absolutely. They are no longer going to be a slept-on team. They are no longer going to be a slept-on team. It's just how these things are. I really don't know how to feel about this Tyreek situation. I mean, honestly, man, he's going to get away with it. He's going to get away with it. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what pissed him off enough where he apparently assaulted some worker. Who knows? But more than likely, I think the guy's probably not going to, press charges, and he'll be out there week 1. Don't be scared of that like button. It won't hurt you. It's free, and it helps your boy Dan out. Absolutely, guys. Smash that like button coming on in. Completely free. It takes less than a second, and it helps me out with the YouTube algorithm so I can be discovered by some more football fans, some more Bills Mafia. We want this happy hour to be pumping every single day, including the morning show. So make sure you hit that like button. Helps me out tremendously. Jordan Smith is coming in saying Jacksonville is going to be the first seed. Second seed is going to be Buffalo. Third, KC. 4, Cleveland. My guy knows it. My guy knows it. 5, Cincinnati. 6, Jets. 7, Denver. Now, the whole Jacksonville Jaguars being the first seed in the playoffs is not a terrible take. Their schedule is so dumb. It is so dumb. And so the AFC South is going to be garbage. That's where they reside. They're playing the NFC South. Yes, they're playing the Bengals, the Chiefs, and us this year. So it might be a little bit difficult for them. But really, outside of that, their schedule is a breeze. So they very well could take that first seed, or a very high seed, if that. That's how it works. We got Jaden coming in saying, how do you feel about the Dantzler signing, and what kind of role do you think he will play in this defense? And so I think it's nice, man. I think that he's more than likely going to be a depth piece. I really do. I think as of right now, I think that Benford is going to be our solidified CB2. I really do. I love Kyer Elam, but, I mean, he was a cornerback that we drafted with the hopes that he could develop into a threat right in zone coverage that Sean McDermott loves to run, right? I really think that Dantzler ended up being picked up because he is a boss when it comes. Great zone corner. Fantastic there. But I just have a feeling that Benford's going to be CB2, and then I think Dantzler might have a couple of snaps per game. He's going to be a depth player, good depth piece. And so I think he's going to make the team, but I really don't see him taking away like snaps from like Taron Johnson out of the slot, or Benford on the outside, or Trey White. But I feel like training camp is going to be very telling, so we will see how that all kind of works out. Brandon Day says the Jets, because the defense is going to keep them in games no matter what the offense does. Absolutely. See, y'all laughed at us about Diggs, but now y'all dealing with the Hill crap. And so I see Dolphins being the Bills' biggest threat. We are too explosive with Tyreek and Waddle. Plus, I truly believe the Dolphins will have a top 7 defense. And so, your defense definitely ended up improving this offseason. That's for sure. My only concern, Wyatt, is your offensive line, which was entirely ignored. It was entirely ignored. Y'all finished 29th in the league for pass blocking last year, hence why Tua got hurt so often. Say that you go up against a defense like the Jets or like the Bills that are very good at disguising coverages, and you force Tua to go through his reads regardless of how fast your receivers are. I don't trust your offensive line being able to hold up past his third progression. I really don't. That's my biggest concern. So he's going to have to do a lot of rolling out. He's going to have to maybe adopt a little bit of Josh Allen's game and run for his life, because that's what Josh Allen had to do all last year. And for the majority of his career, Josh Allen had to roll out, extend plays because his offensive line couldn't stop a nosebleed. I think that's what Tua is going to have to do. Cameron is saying the Jets are overhyped this season, and the media has the Bills going third in the division. I would love to see you said that we were going third in the division. That's a little rough. So how does All-Pro Poe not make the NFL's top 100? Has the NFL top 100 been airing yet? Let me see. When does that come out? When does that come out? And so has it already come out? So the official top 100 is not here yet. I don't believe so. NFL top 100 air date 2023. Let me see. Okay, so it premieres August 14th, Sunday. So it's in August when it officially rolls out. And so I've seen Josh Allen there, but Rod, the Rams fans coming in saying it just depends what team stays healthy. No one really knows. I agree. It's funnier now with that question to Tua, which player would you not allow to babysit? He said Hill. He said Tyreek. Oh, my God. And so they're saying that Dane is the starter. We're going to have to see how it plays out. Like, I personally think that's one of my biggest frustrations with McDermott, man, is that he falls in love with these people that have been in the system for a long time. It's like, oh, that's a good young player right over there. Like, Dane Jackson's done decent, but he's not a starting CB2. I'd rather Benford be out there. Like, honestly, I'd rather Elam be out there, but he just still needs to take some steps in overall zone coverage. That's his thing. Gabriel Wendell is saying, Dan, do you think we have one of the best tight end duos in the league, double DKs? Gabriel, listen, I certainly hope so. My heart's telling me that. And so my heart's telling me that. We're just going to have to see how he plays with pads on in training camp. I'm not going to be able to answer that question, I don't think, until week 3, week 4, and to see how much of Dalton Kincaid we're going to be seeing. Okay? I really hope that he's implemented immediately because I think the kid's ready. And I just want him to be healthy as hell during training camp because I do not want to see any injuries or anything along those lines. D. Raleigh, what's up, man? Hope all is right. Jordan Smith is coming in. Oh, okay, Dan. Here are my NFC seeds. Okay, San Francisco, number 1, I can see for sure. Philadelphia, number 2. 3 through 7 doesn't matter. 3 is Detroit. 4 is New Orleans. 5 is Dallas. New York Giants at 6 and 7 Seattle. And so I like that. And so I like that a lot, but put Detroit at number 2, Philly at 3. Yep. That's what I'm going to do. No. Actually, I lied. San Francisco number 1, Detroit at 2, Dallas at 3. 4 New Orleans, Philadelphia at 5. I think a lot of people about to come after me with that. Ron Jeremy. Good evening, Dan, my friend. Good to see you, brother. Hope all is well. Rod is saying maybe the Bills will use Rapp correctly in the box. Rod, tell us. Listen, Rams fan coming in. How do you feel about Taylor Rapp, man? Seriously, how do you feel about Taylor Rapp? We know that we ended up signing him. We desperately needed safety depth. What were your thoughts of him over in the Rams defense? We would absolutely love to hear. My guy Jaden is coming in saying Osiris will be a top 10 graded lineman for run blocking in his first year. You heard it here first. That is a hot take. And I love every second of it. Say no more. Cam's coming in saying the media will learn that you don't count the Bills out. Something they need to learn. Something they need to. Okay, so I hope the AFC East is going to cook Karen Rodgers, so he's crying. All of us do, babe. All of us. All right. Bills Mafia, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of Bills Mafia Happy Hour. As always, brought to you by Bocce Club Pizza, best pizza in Buffalo, New York. They deliver nationwide. If you haven't tried this or if you have tried it and you miss it wherever you are, they're delivering nationwide. Go to their website, Bocce Club Pizza, and use code DAN, D-A-N, for 10% off of your first order. Pop it into your oven and enjoy a nice little taste of home Buffalo pizza. Even if, for example, you're not a Bills fan and you want to try some Buffalo pizza, expand your pizza horizons, might as well try the best in the business, Bocce Club Pizza. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to be live for the AFC East Roundtable tonight at 8 p.m. EST. Do not miss it. We have a hell of a show going on. Let's make it work. Bills Mafia, love y'all, and we will see you tomorrow. Doses.